We're talking performance enhancers.
Adderall, nicotine, water, and more.
But Ross, it's not just substance abuse in the workplace that we want to make light of.
No, of course not. We want to give you some productivity hacks as well.
Do you mean the pomodoro technique?
Yeah, Natalie, I do. And I'm not talking about pasta.
Shoot, I was hungry. Let's roll the music.
Demoted.
Hi, I'm sick, and we're ready to deliver one of the best podcasts you guys have ever heard.
Yeah, we're talking about performance enhancers today.
I'm going to need some serious performance enhancers for how sick I'm feeling. But
did you mix in a Dayquil?
I don't like to mix and match too much. I'm not really experimental with that. What's your best cocktail?
My breakfast most mornings is 2 Advil, an Allegra, 2 pumps of Flonase.
Yep.
And then coffee.
Wow.
Done.
Empty stomach.
If I'm feeling really bad.
You do that on an empty stomach.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
That's crazy.
I don't have any more stomach lining.
Totally.
Per se.
Does it just bomb you?
No, not at all.
No, you don't feel anything.
I kind of have like a freak iron stomach.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one of my many gifts.
I have a really weak stomach. Today I was walking to the local coffee shop and I threw up. I didn't trust a cough and I threw up. I knew I shouldn't have trusted it.
Is this like right in the middle of the marina?
Yep. I pulled into a little alley, Majorca, pulled onto the side.
Don't walk on Majorca today.
Yep.
There's a little puddle.
There's a little puddle. So anyway, are you struggling to focus?
Oh yeah. Do you feel like no matter how many hours of sleep you get, you're still tired?
Is coffee just not cutting it?
Introducing
Adderall.
Everybody's favorite performance enhancer you can buy legally.
Yep. And by buy, you do need a prescription. And you might be thinking, why are Ross and Natalie recommending this? Well,
they do it themselves.
No, a lot of people are on Adderall. Did you know that since the pandemic, there have been 15% more Adderall prescriptions amongst people 22 to 44 from 2020 to 2021?
I knew it.
Did you know that there were 15% more? I actually have been targeted on TikTok by those ads that are like, me before I realized that I could have a medicine to help me focus.
Right.
They're selling basically the company that connects you to doctors to get you a quick script.
God, I love that.
Totally. And these ads like are popping off. And I saw them mostly like probably 6 months ago. I haven't seen them as much currently.
Well, you converted.
Totally. I mean, now that I'm a customer, they don't need to hit me again. Totally. But like they are attacking they're saying that we all can't focus, and maybe we can't. We have so many distractions. Our phones are toxic. TikTok. I can't sit down for more than 4 minutes. Like I write one email. I'm like, okay, great. Well, I get a 30-minute break, right?
Yeah, totally.
I need to treat myself.
Sweet treat.
Sweet treat.
Yep.
I'm going to like scroll a little, go for a walk. It's like, how can
Today drain me.
Today drain me. I always say that. How am I supposed to sit at my desk for 8 hours and work?
Well, I think the answer for most people is coffee. And look, you know I'm a come strapped with a little stat for you.
Of course you are.
I love how this is written. Nearly 3 in 4 Americans drink coffee.
That's 73%.
73%. That is
very close. Very close to 75.
So close to 3 and 4.
That's crazy. And to you, 25% who don't drink coffee, how do you do it?
How do you do it?
Are you on that green tea grind?
They're on
what
athletic
are you doing
greens.
out there? Yeah, they're just straight athletic greens, nothing else.
On athletic greens.
I do a lot of influencing myself. I would consider myself an influencer. Sure. I promote products. I promote supplements. I'll try anything once.
Yeah, same.
We've talked about Ritual on this pod. We take the stress relief. I've talked about Nutrafol on my channels, the hair growth supplement. I've taken that. And I was recently influenced by an ad for Armra Colostrum. And have you ever seen this? If you're not a girl, you probably haven't.
I'm sorry. Armory Colostrum.
It's called Armra Colostrum. Colostrum is like a milk substance.
Okay.
And apparently it's supposed to make you not get sick, have amazing hair, skin and nails. It has all these benefits. It's like a powder, and you put it in and you whip it up and it's kind of like a milky powder. So I took my first round of Armra Colostrum, and I'm sorry I'm talking about my GI so much.
But now you're sick.
Immediately threw up, and now I'm sick. I threw up. It's an orange liquid. I threw it up immediately. So Good morning.
I have a very fun story in a similar vein.
Tell me.
Okay. I went to China, I don't know, 10 years ago or so.
Okay.
And all I wanted my whole life was to throw 90 miles an hour. So I guess this is even longer than that. This was like back when I was in college. And I would have done anything. I would have made a deal with the devil to throw 90 miles an hour. I topped out at 89.
Way.
And I went to a doctor, like a Chinese traditional doctor. This was like part of the fun. Like we went to some village.
No way.
And I said to the guy, spoke no English. Sure, he didn't understand a single thing I said. I said, can you make me something to throw 90 miles an hour? And something through our translator, they talked or whatever, and I was supposed to come back later that day.
No way.
So I come back later that day, and this guy hands me like 8 packets of what can only be described as dirt water.
You're actually kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. This is like brown water in individual packs. I'm supposed to microwave it first because I like my brown water warm.
I do.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Warm mud.
I don't know about you guys, but I like my creek water.
Mud water warm. Yeah.
Warm. And I take it back to the hotel.
What was the payment? Can we just talk payment for a second? Like, do you remember?
It was some small amount of money.
It was small. Okay.
It was, I mean, again, dirt's easy to get.
Totally.
So
I didn't know if he was like upcharging for
I don't know.
white boy entering the village.
I don't know.
Okay.
He might have been.
Yeah.
For all I know, I was ready to pay anything because I want to throw 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I microwave it, put it in a little cup, chug it down. It tasted a lot like dirt water.
No.
And I'm like, great. Now I wait. I think I waited about a half hour before I threw up everywhere. I painted this bathroom.
No.
And
Absolute
I was
paint job.
so ill. It was coming out of my mouth at 90 miles an hour.
That's what he thought you meant.
That's what he thought I meant.
That's what got lost in translation. Oh my God.
So back to I would try anything once.
When you would do anything.
I
yeah.
would do anything.
I mean, I'll say, looking back, this is obviously, we've all made mistakes. I in college would buy Adderall from the local Adderall dealer
from the store.
It wasn't really a Chinese village. It was just a dude named Jack. and
At least you could communicate with him.
I could communicate with him. And I had a bit of a panic attack my sophomore year in accounting class. Where
the key is to add more when you're panicking. Throw more stimulants
in.
Helps.
Where I was taking way more than this little body should have taken, like 60 milligrams of Adderall. Yeah,
I take 5. I've heard.
Totally. I've heard if I take 5 now as a 30-year-old man, I've heard if I take 5, I'm pretty wired and focused.
Pretty buzzy.
Yeah. Let me tell you, daddy's focused. And anyway, I had a bit of a panic attack and I was in my accounting test, just tunnel vision, looking at the test, going through what I thought was at lightning speed. And then the professor comes up and we're in a full.
I said time's up.
We're in a full conference room, literally not those auditoriums.
Yeah, auditorium. Yeah.
Full of students, entry level 101 accounting, and I'm the only one in the room. I look around, it's completely empty. He goes, "I'm going to need your test now." I'm on page 2 of 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
It reminds me of the SpongeBob thing where he's writing and does a beautiful cursive
No,
and doesn't write anything else.
So on 2 of 7, and I'm like, no, I immediately start crying. I'm shaking. I got this stuff coursing through my veins. I don't even know where I am. I'm seeing black and white. I'm freaking out.
Professor's going X-ray vision on
and
you.
I care so much about my grades at this point. I was struggling to get by. And 2 pages in, I'm like, what is going on? Why am I moving so slowly? I hand them the test. I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, something's wrong. I can't do this. I'm walking across the street.
I only took 60 milligrams.
I'm like, there's a car. Full panic attack. For anyone out there who's had an actual panic attack, this was it. It was very scary.
Burst.
I can make, joke about it, but it was one of the darkest, scariest times of my life. Yeah. Anyway, stopped taking the unprescribed stimulants. That really helped. Secondly, got tested for learning disabilities, something that my mom said, you don't need that my whole life.
That's what my parents said too.
Oh, I'm dyslexic. Oh, okay.
So extended time.
So then I got extended time at the Sarah B. Learning Center.
Nice.
Where they give you little milk and cookies. Rub you on the back.
No, they give you after colostrum?
No, they don't. But literally, it's a comfortable. They're like, welcome to the Sarah B. Learning Center for students with different disabilities. And I walk in, I take my test. I just get a nice pat on the back. So I never had a panic attack after that. Never took unprescribed Adderall.
See, extended time is good.
Anyway.
I got extended time too. I discovered mine junior year of high school after I failed.
Oh, so you got it for the ACT, did you?
I did.
See, that's why I took the ACT 9 times. I hated those kids.
Yep. That was me.
Lucky.
Yeah, I battled through it. Now, if you don't want to take Adderall, a lot of people just drink more coffee. And I was literally racking my brain. I was like, how many people drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day? I was like, there's got to be numbers out there. And good news, everyone, there is. It's 36% of people who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day.
What is your coffee routine? Do you have a coffee machine that you want to shout out?
No, I don't. I'm actually a disgusting freak who makes iced coffee. Well, Becca's a disgusting freak.
Do you make just butt coffee?
We make butt coffee, and we just like literally ground the grinds, stick it in water. It's got a little filter. We stick it in water and just let it sit in the fridge, and it's literally coffee water.
Okay, amazing. I love that.
I don't spend $9 a day.
I spend $9 a day.
I can barely look at you.
Can you?
I wish there was like a plexiglass thing between us.
I wish it was like the Catholic confession where it was just, just a piece of wood.
Please give me that protection.
We could only hear each other.
Because every time I look at her, I'm looking at a corpse. A very well done up corpse.
For those of you watching on YouTube, let's do a hard cut zoom in on what I look like right now. Like, my eyes are bloodshot red.
She's dressed well, though. You know, she always does that.
Well, to the nines, of course, not in my lab coat, which is your favorite.
I do love the scientist look.
I can't breathe. I can't see. And I don't know what I'm saying. So to all you listeners, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And
which I realize it's probably hard for you to see that 51% of people purchase coffee from a coffee shop at least once a week.
See, I purchase coffee shops. I purchase
You purchase coffee shops.
Franchised coffee shops are sort of my sweet spot. No, I purchase coffee 7 days a week.
You do. I know you do.
And it's a luxury.
Because sometimes you use our card.
It's a Ross was like, who's going to
Starbucks 9 times a day on our card?
Yeah, that'd be on the card. It is a luxury that I have gotten to a point in my life that I can afford.
You can.
And I love it. And it's my little sweet, just sugar-free vanilla soy milk.
It's so full of sugar.
It's so full of sugar. It's so bad for me.
But
and it's the first thing to hit my stomach every day. And I love it.
And that's definitely not why you have GI issues. I know that's not why.
No,
it's other
it
reasons.
can't be.
No, it literally can't be.
The doctor, I went into urgent care because look at me. I thought I had whooping cough. I've been reading all these New York Times articles about whooping cough rising. So I thought I had that. And he goes, no, you don't have whooping cough. You would be on the floor. You would have coughed 50 times since I entered the room.
Like, you're kind of being a little bitch. You ever think about that?
No, totally. And I go, well, why do I have all these GI issues? He goes, you might have swallowed someone's cough. And then it just wreaks havoc on your system. I said, what, doc? He's like, you can swallow someone's cough in the air.
Okay, because that's not an innuendo.
Nope.
Okay.
So you have already swallowed my cough today, probably.
Probably.
So get ready for it to hit your stomach.
Give me 3 days.
It's pretty bad.
We're going to need to take a pause.
It's pretty bad. I have an Adderall corporate confession from actually a friend of a friend. Okay. And she told me this past summer. We were in Bali. We had a couple of drinks.
It's a cool place.
We're talking about Adderall. Right.
As one
and
does.
She's like, I used to take Adderall. I used to have a prescription. And then I was really traumatized. Something happened to me. I was like, what happened? She was working in private equity. That's
fulfilling.
She had a boss. It's so fulfilling.
God, that's fulfilling work.
Grinding, staying late. She was actually interning at this point. And she noticed her Adderall bottle. She would take it to work with her. And like some pills would go missing here and there. So she was like, okay, I wonder if someone's like taking my Adderall.
I was going to say it's probably her SDR, but she's not in sales.
Exactly. I'm not sure what's happening. Yeah. So she left the Adderall bottle at home. She stopped taking it to work. A couple weeks later, she sees on her Ring camera her boss breaking and entering into her house and stealing her Adderall. Okay.
How does her boss know where she lives?
I have no idea. Like her boss is looking at company records to find where she lives, breaking into the house. Also, is that the easiest way to acquire this substance?
Again, go to one of your Gen Z employees.
Like there's so much,
coworkers.
So many other
they
options.
all got it.
There was a whole lawsuit. She was like, I feel unsafe.
Oh, it went that far.
It went really far.
Okay.
The boss was crazy. There's other context that the boss would like scream at her and like just absolutely have these outbreaks. Anyway, she got a nice trip to San Diego paid for by the company.
San Diego. I was like, San Juan? Diego.
The girl who was wronged. The company was like, take 6 weeks wherever you want to go. Ritz-Carlton, San Diego.
Okay.
We'll cover it.
That's kinda nice.
Take time off. We'll pay for it. Like
the trauma never leaves, but
trauma you'll have for the rest of your life, worried that your boss and someone you report to will break into your home. But enjoy the Ritz-Carlton.
Needless to say, don't do that. If you're a boss, just ask nicely for the Adderall.
Very scary.
Please don't rob people.
Very, very scary.
Or violate your employees.
Ross, what is the number one occupation that drinks the most coffee?
It's so funny you asked that because I was like trying to rack my brain. I was like, wait. And then I was like, it's got to be military, but it's not military. It's
your dad.
It's journalists.
Yes.
It's journalists. Yeah.
Yes, journalists and media staff. Does your dad drink a lot of coffee as a journalist?
He drinks a ton of coffee.
Really?
And a big part of that was, so my dad's a sports writer. He doesn't write for newspapers anymore, but basically newspaper writers, let's just imagine you're covering a baseball game on the West Coast. So it's 3 hours ahead on the East Coast. You're writing the story as the game goes on. And as soon as that game's done, you basically need to submit your story and things can change and you're constantly rewriting because like the game's changed and another team's winning and there's so forth. And they have deadlines that basically say like, you have to get this thing in
5 minutes after the game.
Because it goes to print like immediately. Yeah, basically. And so they're constantly rewriting and changing the story and they're just throwing down coffee and they got to get in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And then they wake up and they got to go cover another thing. And it's just like, the deadlines are crazy.
Do you listen to like the Daily or other New York Times podcasts? They just released one that's like a 9-minute daily synopsis of what's happening in the world, which I've listened to because of course the Daily being, 35 minutes is too long.
Yeah.
How can I get it even quicker into my veins? And I listened to that and they're like, I'm, the world reporter reporting from East Africa. They have people stationed all over the world, just like calling in on this muffled mic to give an update of what's happening in the world. Like journalists are just...
They're grinding.
They're grinding.
Yeah, and you got to be up and at them at all times. So that actually does track for me. What would you imagine like second highest coffee consuming profession would be?
I would think sales, I would think finance, right? But of course the ABC Chicago reports that it's plumbers.
It's plumbers. No, it's not. It's police officers. Because we didn't write in descending order. We did a cross as we often do.
It's police officers. Plumbers are number 4.
Plumbers and trade workers are number 4.
Teachers number 3. I get that. If I was with these kids, my roommate just started working as a first grade teacher.
Wow.
She's on her second day.
It's a lot of babysitting.
It's a lot. Do you know first graders are like, they have accidents?
They do.
Yeah.
That's tough.
They like need to learn like that there's still, there's a toilet and you can ask to go to the bathroom and you got to use it.
Right.
Like first grade. Like really?
How old are first graders? I don't know.
You're so good with kids.
I bully kids. I'm not going to lie. I just was curious if you sip espresso martinis.
Oh, I do. Balboa Cafe in San Francisco is the go-to spot for a basic girl like myself.
So you're part of the 25% of people that do sip espresso martinis, which is at least... since 2022, I've been tracking this, 79% increase.
That's crazy.
Yeah, since 2022.
An espresso martini timed well enough to where like it just activates you for the rest of the night. Chef's kiss. And then you're in bed like...
Kills the appetite so I don't eat dinner.
No.
It's nice.
It's
creamy, I'm ready to ride.
Creamy dinner.
Yeah, Balboa Cafe. That's our shout out.
So... I do want to talk about we've been rambling a lot, which is fun. I kind of like just beanbag baddies, just talking
nothing,
but and nothing. I do want to talk about like, what does your calendar look like? What are some tips for focusing? How do you block your time?
It's a hellacious hellscape.
Yeah. Like what is your life like? I'm wedded to my calendar.
Yeah.
I feel like I am more tied to it than you are.
In the grand scheme, I am extremely tied to it, but compared to you, like you are type A+.
I know, right?
I'm like type A-.
Like I have a block for like drive to Demoted recording, drive home. Every film block, everything I film is a 15-minute block with the script.
If I get one more calendar invite from you, I might just kill myself.
I will keep inviting you.
I know. No, they're good. I'm a slave to calendar.
If I find a trending sound on Instagram Reels that I want like Ross and I to do, I'll make a calendar invite, put the sound in, put the cred to the creator who started that sound. Mm-hmm. Put a suggested caption and then put it on the calendar for when we're next together when we should film it.
Well, that's great. I mean, I like doing that. That type of stuff is super helpful. And I'm like, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist.
No.
And I guess it's a performance enhancer. It's a tip and trick that makes me perform better because if I don't, like I miss deadlines,
the way shit. This ties to it. Obviously I'm too much on the calendar, but time blocking is a big like way to allow yourself time to honestly slack off. One technique is the Pomodoro technique.
Yeah. Okay. So I read this Pomodoro thing. I laughed out loud.
I added this to the outline. So it's like a well-known, I'm shocked you don't know this. It's 25 minutes of focused work called a Pomodoro.
Okay.
Coupled with 5-minute break. So you're not saying like, let me sit down for an hour and do
you're
something.
25 on, 5 off.
25 on, 5 off. Every 4 or 5 Pomodoros, take a 15 to 30 minute break. It's a way of looking at your schedule in your day in manageable time chunks.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a big project, whether it's school or work or something you're, working on, time blocking what you're going to do so you're not sitting down and having this huge thing hanging over your head. I'm a huge procrastinator. Obviously, I'm not a huge like Pomodoro technique utilizer.
Right.
But I will put a block on my calendar for like 15 minutes, like review questions before Demoted, Yeah. And I think that helps to just have that time blocked.
I have been seeing 25-minute meetings more often.
I love
like
that.
people will send them and I'm like, oh, that's curious.
It keeps you, because then
But
you're
now I
like,
get it.
I won't move this meeting because it's just 25. If
Right.
it's 30, I'm going to move it.
Right. Because you're like, oh, I'm going to be late till my next one. And then over time, like you end up being late. But that 5-minute buffer, I mean, it is kind of a joke. We joke about like, I'm going to give you 2 minutes back in your day, 3 minutes. But it's like low key helpful to transition to the next thing.
I also think one thing that's really helpful with I view focusing and performance enhancers is all that I view as like, how do you attack your job and your day in the best possible way? One thing that has really helped me is right after a call wraps, I will sit and like summarize my notes. There's AI tools that do this for you, but what do I need to do? And honestly, do the follow-up immediately because I will forget 5 calls down the road what I talked about.
It's fresh.
And it's really hard to do that because you want to get up, you want to go get coffee, you want to like do these other things. Just sit and do it and then bounce.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, I guess I don't know how much of these are performance enhancers or just like discipline.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, for like a speaking engagement, for example, or like I would do this before baseball games, is like I have a routine. I have a pregame routine and I make sure I do it every single time. Big part of it's lame. It's like I make sure I'm drinking a lot of water. I always go for a walk and like listen to certain music in my head, like put on the headphones, walk around the city I'm going to.
Love that.
There's in pitching, we were required to do a conscious breath before every pitch. Oh. So that is like an actual physiological thing that is a reset. The reason our dogs, we hear animals, they just do these big sighs because it's actually creates a physiological response of like relaxation, of refocusing, of resetting. So in those moments before a big thing, a big conscious breath actually is helpful for you. And the other piece is positive self-talk. Like we're on the mound, we're supposed to be talking to ourselves instead of saying like, that was a terrible pitch, you dumb piece of shit.
Because then you'll get the yips or what's it called?
Yeah, the yips. Yeah. But it's just like, it's all got to be framed in a positive sense. Like you're the best motherfucker who ever throw a baseball. Like, yeah, you can be a little bit more savage, but it's all like positive about yourself versus like, don't fuck this up, you dumbass. Like, God, I'm a piece of shit. Like you can't do that.
Totally.
And it does manifest itself in a positive way. It has to be repeated. You have to build this into a routine. And I think that for me is the biggest part of performance enhancing is just like a pregame, ritual routine that I hit every time.
2 questions. Do you have a morning routine? And then do you ever meditate?
I'll start with the second one. No, my mom swears by meditating. She does something called TM. It's like transcendental meditation or something like that. And you go to like get certified, like do this whole thing. Like,
no way.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing. And a lot of high performing executives do it. That's like mental health work in my mind, and like the executive coaching stuff I do to me fills that role. Like it's like therapy in a lot of ways. And those are the things that's like what I do. My morning routine, I'm starting to try and work out more in the morning.
Yep. You're a big 3 p.m.er.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time I call you at 3, you're at the YMCA.
YMCA, baby. Grinding.
Yeah, grinding.
But you called me yesterday in the morning and I was in the gym. So
totally. And by morning, he means 9:40.
It was 8:30. It was 8:30.
It was 8:30.
I don't wake up at 5. I go to bed late. Our schedules are like a couple hours.
We are
rotated off. But I mean, working out is a huge performance enhancer for me. I just feel better. I get depressed. I get angry if I'm not in the gym 4 or 5 times a week.
Same. Totally agree. So, you after an 18-course meal in Lisbon, you're going to go to the gym.
I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do a little night run if I have to. But I think it is just building in certain pieces that train your body and train your mind to ebb and flow as you want your day to go. Yeah. Like the day of chaos, like it's so hard, I think, for us at times because so much random shit comes up. Like if you don't make certain time periods sacred, your workout, whatever it is, like your coffee time, your walk.
And for me, time away from the phone, like, because the phone is my whole work, my whole life, everything. And
yeah, you've been trying to like detox that a little bit more. Has that been working?
Yes. So I don't meditate. I'm not currently in therapy. I spend little time working on myself. Yeah, it's bad. But I want my phone charging away from me at night, and I want to block time away from my phone because I find myself being addicted. I find myself getting dumber.
Yeah.
I find myself aimlessly scrolling in times when I'm with the people I love.
Totally.
And it's disgusting to me.
Yeah.
And I
get called out for that.
Yeah.
For having the phone out too much.
Well, I was recently at dinner and we were telling a story. It's 4 girls at a dinner table sitting. And this one girl was scrolling Instagram while I'm telling a story. I go, I'll wait. I'm sorry. Is this a bad story?
Yeah.
Like scrolling, I think is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm guilty of like doing, I think And I'm assuming she wasn't like doing it in malicious way. It's like, we are addicted.
No, we're close friends. That sounds really bitchy, but we were totally laughing. We were like completely laughing.
Totally, because it's like we start to like kind of default, and it's like, oh, our minds need to be constantly stimulated. It's not great for the performance.
Yes. One thing I've started is playing tennis. My brother and I are my brothers.
Yeah, I got my racket in the garage. I'm ready to go.
You want to play?
I had to do tennis lessons for so long.
I'm trying to do some lessons. My brother has a girlfriend. My boyfriend and I were having, like, at the end of this year, we're going to have a tournament where we're going to we're going to play doubles, mixed doubles.
I like how you've gone to tennis instead of just like accept that pickleball is the age we're at.
No, totally. Like I'm now into tennis.
My mom plays hardcore tennis. She's on a team. She's the captain. She runs the club.
I want to see, because like I don't like golf and I want my old lady sport, and I think it's going to be tennis.
We'll change you. You're going to like golf.
I don't want to golf.
Once you hit the ball good one time, you're just like, ooh, yeah.
I have hit it good a couple of times.
I know, but
then it never happens again.
We just got to chase it. You got to chase that dragon. It's a delicious dragon. You can do both. Country club sports,
I also like a workout. Like if I'm spending an hour of my day with golf, freaking 4 hours, no.
Yeah, you walk the course like a freak. Okay, well, with that, let's transition to some easy ways to enhance your work performance.
Love it. Wear a Camelback full of espresso. Better yet, drag an IV around.
Wow, straight to the veins.
Yeah.
Hire a high school football coach to yell at you so you work harder.
No one cares more than a high school football coach.
No one cares more and no one's meaner.
Nope. Live stream yourself working so random creeps online hold you accountable.
So I'll give you an aside after this, but okay. Slash the tires of your own car so if you want to leave, you can't.
Love that. Love that. The live streaming, I actually am on a side of TikTok that I see that a lot, where people are just live streaming themselves so that they can focus.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I used to Twitch stream.
Oh my God.
I used to Twitch stream.
Gamer. I'm shocked you don't
Hot
anymore.
drops with the dog pound.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we kind of stopped playing the game, but I was going to do this thing and I keep meaning to do it where it's basically like work with corp. I was just going to basically set up the Twitch stream and just work and be like, yo, come through.
Come through.
Come through.
You should
come
do that.
Watch me work. It was going to be like end of quarter thing. I was going to be like, for all the salespeople out there who are trying to crush end of quarter and like need, want
Are they going to watch you film or like, what are they going to watch?
No, I'm literally just going to do work on my computer. And like they can, send me messages and whatever, and I'll respond to their questions and so
and
forth.
by doing work, you'll just be like reading the stream the whole time.
Yes.
Totally.
But they can, come hang out anyway.
Develop a vaping addiction. Give your vape to your boss and only let them give it back to you when you complete a task.
I love that.
Blow a nose and
turn yourself into a crackhead and just do anything. Subsist only off stimulants like energy drinks, Adderall, and coffee.
Employ the Pomodoro technique.
Employ the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And after four Pomodoros, you take one full pasta Pomodoro for 35 minutes.
You go walk yourself on down to the Italian restaurant. Give yourself some Pomodoro. Okay. We have a corporate confession. Okay. Yeah. In my first job out of college, a lot of the staff had to travel to various work events. And anytime our CEO would be at the same event, they designated a staff member to the CEO's wake up routine, which required the employee to go into the CEO's room, turn on the lights, open the curtains, and place a coffee and a glass of water at their bedside table, then leave. Weird, yes, but one time I was designated for that job at a conference. The CEO asked me to stay in the room and talk with him about my career aspirations while he completed his wake-up routine. I said yes, because apparently I didn't have boundaries at 22 years old. He got up, went to the bathroom to change into a suit, brushed his teeth, drank his milk and coffee, and that was his routine. He literally just wanted to talk while he did that. And then when it was time to leave, he said, "This was great. I'm glad I got to talk to you while being productive." What actually haunts me the most about this is the fact that he essentially insinuated it wasn't productive to sit down and learn about me without doing something else while we were talking.
This is some like psychopath CEO shit. What is happening?
Psychopath. You're breaking and entering into his room. You're setting up a little milk and coffee.
You're like Santa Claus.
Completely. Hey, buddy. Good morning.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
Hey, I'm the new staffer for this shift. Good morning. I'm Natalie.
Here's your glass of water.
I'm going to see myself out unless you want to chat about my career or something.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And who do we have here? I think what concerns me the most about this is there's nothing like inherently wrong about it. In fact, it's all so normal, it bothers me more.
I think it's really wrong and weird.
I mean, it's weird for sure, but it's like the person says the CEO didn't make them stay. They chose to stay.
Yeah.
He was just like, I want to talk.
Is he in a robe?
And
is he in his boxers when he wakes up?
He didn't say anything weird.
Does he sleep naked?
It's all just so like not over the top that it's extra weird.
It's like a coffee chat, except he's brushing his teeth in his hotel room.
It's so casual.
Yeah.
It freaks me out.
Yeah, I agree.
Like do something weird. Extra weird.
I would feel like, as someone with a legit job and a legit job description, if I was tasked as this staff member, I'd feel like that's a bit beneath me. I'm not going to lie. Am I a babysitter?
This is some intern work right here.
This is some intern work.
Sorry, interns.
The CEO's wake-up routine. Like, come on.
What a weird... It's all weird. It's all weird.
Should we get into PRD?
Let's PRD.
Promoted or demoted? I will start with work-mandated drug tests.
Demoted. You'll lose half your employees if you do that. Hard demote. Hard demote.
They don't... I don't think they do that in California, do they?
They don't.
Some companies, like Deloitte, I did for sure.
Government, like a lot of companies will do that in the hiring process, and it's like, dog, if you can't get clean for one test, like that's a you thing.
Yeah.
But like government roles where you have to like interface with the government. So sales reps who have top secret clearance.
Ooh, that would be a fun episode.
Yeah.
So SDRs with top secret clearance.
Yeah, or government clearance. I don't know what levels of clearance they have, but they do require someone. They have to get drug tested for that. So anyway, demoted still.
Demoted.
All right, demoted caffeine pills. Have you ever had one?
I've never taken them.
I used to take them.
Okay, what is it like?
Oh, it's like it's just like one pill of panic attack, please.
No way.
Yeah.
Panic attack, please.
One panic attack, please. Blink.
No.
Yeah.
But is it like a coffee or it's totally different?
It's like a coffee without any of the enjoyable parts of it. Like, I guess you want to feel the elation.
It's just a crash.
It feels really synthetic. It feels like artificial, if that makes any sense. I don't. It's like I need the coffee, the liquid, the smell.
You need to be
taste.
in your little nook. You need the experience.
I need the sun beating down on my face. I don't want to just throw a casual caffeine pill in.
Well, that's like the argument of,
gives me anxiety.
Would you take an alcohol pill?
Right.
It's like we drink alcohol to
totally
lose motor function, slur our words, and be a dumber version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Why don't we just take a pill to do that? How great would that be? Oh, now I'm dumb. Awesome.
Yeah. Here's the dumb pill. Here we go. And then we'll record a podcast. we'll record a podcast. We're already dumb though, so it doesn't really
totally. It would not help. Promoted or demoted? Smelling salts. I need some right now.
I don't think you could smell them.
Yeah.
You could try to smell them. I don't think it would work. I love smelling salts.
Oh, tell me more. So we've come clean about our drug use. You went to China. You got some weird things.
I got some
bought
some dirty water.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do with smelling salts?
No, so smelling salts is, we used it in baseball when it was really, really hot out.
Oh, that's like a thing.
I was pitching in Arizona and it was like 115. And we had a cooler that had smelling salts in it with water and a rag in it. And you take the rag and just put it over your face and just do and just breathe, and it would like bring you back to life.
That's really scary.
But it was like it wasn't like, it's very short term. Like it brings you back to life kind of for a few seconds. It wasn't like adrenaline shot.
Yeah,
it was just like, you're so sluggish. It's so hot and you're so tired. It's almost like breathing wintergreen into your body.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll try it here.
Yeah.
Maybe that would help us.
Next episode. All right. Promoted, demoted. Sending reels back and forth with a friend, but never actually like responding, typing messages.
Obsessed. My
just
best friend.
Walls of
it's just
reels.
walls of reels. And then the best part is when you're not even really watching them. You know, it's just you're sending them to your friend.
Yeah.
And then you'll see them in person at dinner. You're like, hey, did you watch those reels I sent? And they're like, no, I don't have fucking time to watch your 60 reels you sent me. And you're like, that's mine. A good friend. I love you. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll promote it too.
Promoted or demoted? Swearing at Alexa.
Alexa, Siri, all of them.
God damn it, Alexa.
I apologize.
I think that, well, Matt has told me this.
I also tell it I love her after I swear at her.
Yeah, you do. You do. That like LLMs and ChatGPT have like memory, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you are disrespectful to ChatGPT, it remembers.
Yeah.
Matt will always say like, I thank the AI, like for when it like gives a good answer or like, you know, affirming it. And I think the part of that is like to train it to be, you know, to give better outcomes for you and like speak in your voice or whatever it is. Right. But I think a small part of it is like the fear of it has more power than you, and it will remember that you 100%. Were actually kind to it.
Yeah.
And it won't harm you.
Fuck you.
Totally.
You're cool. Fuck you.
Totally.
That's when they take over. I want it to know
that I thanked you.
Yeah. Also that I'm sorry that I used the language I used.
And this is a completely uninformed conversation.
Yes.
We don't know what AI can do.
We don't know.
But I'm going to say thank you when it gives me a good answer.
Yeah. So I'm going to demote swearing at Alexa. She doesn't deserve that.
No. And if
Even
you
if
do,
she doesn't hear you the
apologize.
first 5 times. Yeah. And if you do, apologize.
Cuddle her.
Talk to her. You know, bring her to your room.
Whisper sweet nothings in her ear.
But don't be weird.
One more.
Okay.
Promoted or demoted? large laptops.
Hard, long and hard promote.
So Ross and I made a video that might never see the light of day. We might release it just to the Motorheads on the Demoted channel.
Yeah.
If you're here with us. It's called When Your Laptop is Huge.
And that's it.
And it's us referencing a huge laptop.
Just being in absolute awe of my laptop, because I do kind of have a large laptop.
He does.
It's right there.
He'll come out and say it. It's a big laptop.
And people...
And the whole video is us being like, how big?
How big is it?
Tell me what.
I've never seen a laptop this big before.
Wow.
Anyway,
we'll
decide if we're ever going to put it out.
We'll promote large laptops and we'll get you on out of here.
Yeah, we'll get you on out of here. You know, thank you guys for coming today.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. Thank you for sticking with us.
All right. Yeah, I will read this review. Are you going to be able to survive?
Will you read this one review so we can encourage our Motorheads and listeners to leave a review so that we'll be able to shout them out like we can to CPELAZQUEZ23?
Let me help you out with that. I believe it's CP Velasquez 23.
Okay,
cool. Here we go. Hello, Natalie and Ross. I'm a third grade teacher and I've never worked in sales or corporate, but I love your podcast. Wow. Look at us outside the corporate world.
hang on. Okay.
Normally I'll listen to Taylor Swift while driving to work, except on Tuesdays. You are both so knowledgeable and hilarious. Keep up the Rizz. Thanks.
You forgot to read that this
Caitlin.
review is called You Guys Have Rizz.
This review is called You Guys Have Rizz. It was black and white. I don't know. It was black and white. It was written on a Thursday. I can see that by CP Velasquez 23. I'm guessing that's Caitlin.
Yep.
Princess Velasquez 23.
Caitlin Princess Velasquez, thank you so much. We love you. Thank you for being a Motorhead.
Yep.
As we said, give that like button a Zyrtec, give it an Allegra, squirt a little Flonase up it, and just smash it. Send it on its merry way.
Yes, and as always, contact@demotedpodcast.com. You go to our website, demotedpodcast.com, and submit voice memos, questions, concerns, feedback, thoughts, and all that stuff.
I'll put my address in the comments for you guys to send me some medicine. And as always, tune in next week on Demoted.
Demoted.